modeling I know as it has been introduced. I'm working at the Technical University of Montpellier, France, and today I'm presenting my work on thermal characterization using the 3 omega method. So now we change a bit to try to measure the thermal conductivity again. So I give you some of the motivation for my work and for my team also. So we wanted to measure the thermal conductivity for academic and industrial purposes with the aim of having an alternative to the hardwire method, which requires the quite apparatus. So we decided to investigate the method because it's fast, it works in the frequency domain, and samples. And so far, only few works has been done using this method to characterize the sample. And the perspective of this work was also to develop a sensor that at the end could be miniaturized and integrated. So I will give you some words about the an introduction about the 3 omega method for people who don't know it. So the 3 omega method was introduced in the 90s by Kyle in order to measure the thermal conductivity of solids, of dielectric solids up to 750 Kelvin. As I said, it performs in the frequency domain, which means that we study the spectral thermal response of a system under an harmonic thermal perturbation. And the way it works is that it uses the thermoresistive effects in metals in order to correlate the thermal domain to the electrical domain. So now I will explain you the principle. So now we are speaking about solid, and we will move on to gas samples later. So if we have a substrate that we want to characterize, so meaning that we want to measure the thermal conductivity, what we will do is we will deposit a thin film on top of it and use microfabrication techniques to pattern this layer in a small strip resistance. And this resistance will be used simultaneously as a heating element and also a temperature sensor. So we will feed an AC current into this resistance, and due to Joule heating, temperature oscillation will arise in the substrate. And temperature oscillation will take place in the substrate. So this temperature oscillation will depend first on the frequency of the injected current, but also on the thermal properties of the substrate, and that's what we want to know. So the way to measure this temperature oscillation is to measure this so-called 3 omega voltage, which is a consequence of the thermoresistive effect. If we send a current in this resistance, an harmonic current, so let's say cosine omega t, we will have Joule heating that will take place in cos 2 omega t, so at the second harmonic. And now if we measure the voltage drop, so R times I, it's a cosine 2 omega t times a sine omega t, so we will have a component in the voltage at the third harmonic. And this component is directly proportional to the temperature oscillation that we want to measure. So now that's the principle for the 3 omega method, and if we use a specific geometry for the sensing element, we could derive an analytical model in order to deduce the thermal properties of the substrate. So that's what Kyle did, and he used the so-called line heater geometry, which means that he supposes that the wire is infinitely long and that you can neglect the thermal capacity of the wire. So doing so, this model was derived, and we see that we have first the in-phase term of the thermal oscillation, that is a straight line, and the slope gives directly access to the thermal conductivity of the substrate. And we also have an out-of-phase term, which is constant and also inversely proportional to the thermal conductivity. So by plotting this graph, so measuring the thermal oscillation as a function of the input frequency, of the current, we can access to the thermal conductivity. So we have been doing that in order to validate our experimental setup, and we could measure the thermal conductivity of the electric solids with a good precision. So now we will move on to the subject, meaning to measure the thermal conductivity of gases using a similar method. So now, since we want to characterize gases, the solution we investigate is to use a suspended wire. So this wire was fabricated using microtechnologies, but now if we try to plot the thermal response as a function of the frequency, we got this kind of curves, and we see that Kylie's model that I showed you before that fails to predict the experimental data. In fact, the linear behavior are not longer observed, and we see this kind of thermal low-pass behavior. So this is due to the fact that now some more thermal phenomena has to be taken into account. So we have first to take into account the conduction to the gas medium. That's what we want to characterize. But we have also to take into account, since gas medium are less conductive than solids, the self-heating in the sensing element. So that leads to a 1D model, and we could also take into account the conduction to the substrate. So that's the thermal conductivity of the wire itself. So doing that, using these two models to explain our experimental data, we plotted the temperature oscillation for different gases as a function of the frequency, and used the 1D and the 2D model to measure the thermal conductivity. So a lot of figures on this table, but what we can say is that the 1D model could not predict the thermal conductivity of the gas because of the end effect of the wire. So the 2D model, which is where the results are given here, we measured the thermal conductivity with a relative good precision, around 13%, but it still requires a rather complicated data post-processing procedure. So that was one approach, to use a fitting procedure, but as I said, it requires a complicated fitting procedure. And we wanted to use a simpler approach, and as I said, the system could be in a way considered as a thermal low pass. And now if we look at the out-of-phase component, we see that there is a kind of cutoff frequency of our system. And now if we try to plot the cutoff frequency as a function of the thermal conductivity of the gas we tested, we can see that we have a straight line, meaning that this curve could be used as a calibration curve to relate the cutoff frequency and the thermal conductivity. So meaning if we have a gas that we don't know, and measuring the cutoff frequency of our system could allow us to measure the thermal conductivity. So to sum up, we have presented the measurement of the thermal conductivity on solids, and I moved on to gas sensing application using micro machine node suspended wire. Two approaches were investigated. The 1D model failed, but the 2D model is valid, and well, that's it. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions.